Hi, welcome to the channel, Budget Audio Review and Upgrades. Now, when I come to review my amplifiers, etc., I always look at other people's reviews, see what they think, see if I agree with them or disagree, etc. You know, what kind of sound am I hearing compared to them maybe, you know, and what I think, and I give my opinion on the channel. And hopefully, like, you know, it may help some people out somewhere along the line. I don't know, like, you know what I mean? But, you know, I'm getting plenty of new subscribers, which I'm thankful for. I say thank you for subscribing and for all the comments you leave, all the regulars, the ones that have been here for quite a while now, leaving the comments, etc. Now, just very, very quickly on the channel, I will be putting up anything and anything really to do with Wi-Fi. So this will include a load of sound tests. I mean, I've got the speakers here, got the amplifiers here, and so why not just stick a track up? They're not proving popular or anything like that, but why not just stick them up there? You know, it may help someone along the line somewhere. So, you know, some of them may not be for you particularly, but hopefully it's going to help out someone else anyway. So back to tube sound. Like I say, I've been like buying amplifiers, receivers and all that kind of thing, and these old receivers. Some people leave comments, this has got like a tube sound to it, very tube soundy. The nearest you're going to get to a tube sound, that kind of thing. And you know, I haven't listened to a tube sound. Well, I have, but I was about 5 or 6 years old. We're on these old stereo radiograms many, many years ago, and I can't remember what that sounded like. And it's all this, you know, it's probably got some cheap speakers, all that kind of stuff in it. So it probably wouldn't give me a great idea anyway, even if I had the unit here now. So I thought maybe I should delve in and buy a tube amplifier. This will help me out with my reviews, especially if I get some of these kind of old speakers that I've had a couple of pairs on here that didn't sound that great. They sounded all right, but they wasn't that fantastic. But people have said to me these probably, you know, more suited to a tube amplifier. They would sound a lot better. So that, you know, could well be the case. So I thought maybe it's time that I actually got a tube amplifier. Then I could actually say this amplifier, this solid state, this transistor amplifier, it's got a little bit of a tube sound to it. And I realised, you know, I'll be able to kind of like say, yes, it has. I compared it to a tube amplifier I've got. And there's not too much of a difference between the two. But I know nothing about tube amplifiers. Coming to repair them, anything like that, I'm probably not going to know a lot about it. I'm kind of an intermediate repairer on transistor stuff, but when it comes to Valve, I'm not, you know, I'm no expert. I'm right down the bottom of the ladder. I'm really a starter, a beginner. So let's put me down there as where I am, and you know, maybe, you know, a lot of you in that category as well. So, and it's always a bit daunting, I think, with valves. You look at them, they look a bit fragile, all that kind of stuff. This stuff can be expensive as well. Not saying transistors can't be expensive, or they're expensive as well. Some of them go up into many thousands, obviously. And same with the valve amplifiers. But then you're talking about high voltages and all that on the unit. You don't want to break the pins. And some people may be a bit hesitant in buying a valve amplifier compared to a normal solid state one. And they don't come cheap. Like, you know, just a basic one, you know, is £200 or £300 you're going to pay for something really, really basic upwards. Well, you can go and get yourself a second-hand amplifier or another amplifier on eBay, somewhere like that, for £30, 20 or £30 in a charity shop, something like that. So it's quite a bit of difference when you're talking starting budget. Obviously, it's not a lot of difference, you know, for some of these people buying higher-end stuff. But when you're starting budget, low budget, where you've built your system up, say, for about 100 quid, 200 or 300 quid, somewhere around there, when you're going to go and pay £300 minimum maybe for a valve amplifier, and that's going to be right down the bottom of the kind of valve range. What are you going to expect to get for your money for that? Is it worth it? All that kind of stuff. So I thought, why not get one myself? And I'll find out, you know, one way of finding out. Like I say, it's gone over the budget of the channel. I paid 300, well, I'll tell you about it in a minute. I paid £306. It was up for, £305. It was up for 311. I put a little cheeky bid. It wasn't bid up, but I just put a bid in, you know, to 300, accepted 305. But we'll come to that because I managed to get some more money off because it arrived damaged. And this is what the video here is about, really. It's an unboxing video. This is supposed to be an unboxing video of me unboxing this amplifier to show you what you get once you bought your item off of eBay by a fairly reputable seller that deals in amplifiers like this, you know, sticks to this Nobsound make and a few others, I think, Reisong as well, they sell from China. I'm not going to put the eBay name up or anything like that. I discuss the eBay name because we come to some kind of arrangement, but just be a bit careful when you're buying this stuff. Like I say, I was expecting this to be in maybe in its own box, but to be nicely padded and have no problems, take it out and it to be working. That's the kind of like thing that I was hoping for. And as you can see by this video, I will play the video, is that it didn't quite work out like that way. It come in a second-hand box. Now this opening video is me actually opening it for the first time. It may look like I've sealed it back up and started again, but I haven't. Honestly, this is for me opening it up for the very, very first time, even though it's got a slit in the top of the box where this bloke's used the box, or this company's used the box quite a few many times for different things, or maybe backwards and forwards for amplifiers or whatever. It has been used, and this is how I got it. And when I picked it up from my local Sainsbury's, I noticed that something was moving about inside, something was rolling about, and putting two and two together, like without opening it, something rolling about is probably going to be one of these valves rolling about inside. So now I'm thinking, I hope it ain't damaged, broke or anything like that, because they're made of glass. Obviously only got to get stuck or bashed on the floor or something like that in the box. It could quite easily break. So first of all, the valve was loose, as you can see in this video, and also the mains lead. These 3-pin plugs here in the UK would be different in America. Places you have a 2-pin, but they do little plastic covers you can clip over them to kind of stop them plugs scratching any metal surfaces if you just left them dangling. Or you could just wrap it up in a bit of tissue or something like that. But no, just stuck the lead straight in there. So of course when I got it, it did actually mark the top of this transformer. It's not a massive mark, but it is marked. And if you're buying something brand new, you're expecting it to be brand new. You're not expecting that mark to be on it. So you'll see me undo the unit, the unit from the package. So I'll play that video now just to see exactly what happened. Some bits in there are moving about, so it makes it a little bit more interesting maybe. So make sure that's in camera so you can see what's happening. Let's just move it up a little bit, up and have a look. Exactly what I thought, and there it comes. And at the moment, not that great, because this valve's just laying about in there. Not a good start, I don't think. One valve just laying apart in there. Yeah, not a good start, I don't think. Could have been a bit better than that. So we'll stick that there out the way. Got the mains lead here just dangling about. Yeah, so that's not very good neither, because it's actually scratched the top of this transformer. So that's not very good. Got the other valves here, they've just all been stuck in some paper, and obviously that one's worked its way loose, but there's the other valves there. But that particular valve is missing. There's this valve here, it's worked its way loose in the post. So as we go to take this out, other than that it's well packed. It's just that mains lead could have been put in there a bit better, and that valve could have been done up a bit better, I think. But anyway, let's have a look how it comes. I mean, it's quite heavy, a little bit dusty to be honest with you. Looks like it's been laying around for a little bit. So as we pull it out, and we've got another valve here moving about in the box, that's rattling up and down as well. So let's get this on the desk, and we'll face it towards you actually. Got a little bit of paper there or something. That's the geezer's fingerprints who sold it to me. Like, forget this is brand new, but just a little bit annoyed that that's got a little bit of a marking on it from the mains lead. Right, so hopefully you're sticking with me, because it's quite a long video. This is why I want to try and break these down into different segments, because it's going to be far to be hours, like by the time I finish rattling on talking about this, that and everything else, and wombling, rambling or whatever. But anyway, got in touch with the seller, and he offered me £20 cash back because that was marked. And I looked on places like AliExpress, and these caps do come off, and you can fit another cap, and they're only £3 or £4, and that includes postage from AliExpress. So if I wanted to, I could take this top off and put a new one on, but it's something you're probably not going to want to do yourself. So hopefully this eBayer, this store has learned, and they're going to tie things down a little bit more securely next time, because he offered me £20, and that was plus VAT, or well, it seemed to be plus VAT anyway, because I got £24 reduction. So I knocked £6 off to start off with, plus £24 refund off the 311 this was. So this now works out at £281 I've paid for it. Now, the reason I've got this particular amplifier, and this is why I want to mention a few things, it's so much to pack in here really, is that obviously I look at reviews, etc. I know nothing about valve amplifiers. I'm going by other people's reviews, and like anything else, if someone's just got the one item once, so the first amplifier for instance, the first valve amplifier, and as long as it sounds okay, they're going to say, they may turn around and say, sounds fantastic, 5 stars. So I always look for people that's kind of compared it to other stuff they've had, maybe an order fire list, something like that. They said, I've had these 3 other valve amplifiers, and this one sounds pretty good against them. Gives you more of an idea. Now, I stumbled across a YouTuber called, let's get this right, I do apologise if I say this name wrong, but it's called Skunkie Design Electronics. Now, this YouTuber builds their own valve amplifiers, etc., but also reviewed this, the Reisong A10, and a few others as well. And this YouTuber put this amplifier, sound wise, build wise, overall better than the Reisong A10, which I was tempted to buy first of all. That was the first one I looked at. It looked quite a smart unit. More expensive than this, another £100. That goes for about £420. That was the one I was aiming at first of all. Obviously, there's more expensive ones, but I wanted to get it as cheap as possible, really. But they recommended this. Plus, they do a few little modifications on this particular amplifier as well, just to bring it up, sounding a little bit better, etc. Now, let's make sure I haven't missed anything out here. First of all, this takes a Valve. It's called a Nobsound Hi-Fi value tube amp. And this has got a headphone socket built in. Now, not all of them got headphones. I'll take a few pictures to show you on the screen as I'm talking. But this has got an headphone socket at the front. You can buy this without the headphone socket. Obviously, be a little bit cheaper. This is rated at 6.8 watts a channel. But that YouTuber says that realistically, at a reasonable level, where it don't start distorting, you're probably going to get around about 3 watts a channel out of it. So just bear that in mind. And we're going to do some sound tests. I'm going to link this up, do some sound tests with the speakers I've been using to kind of give you an idea of how loud that 3 watts would be. Obviously, the more efficient speakers you got, the louder it's going to be. Now, I haven't got really efficient speakers. I think the most I've got is about 88 dB, something like that. I may have a 90 dB, I'm not too certain. But if you can go above 90 dB, 95, these clip speakers, something like 100 dB, obviously it's going to go louder. But we're going to do it with my speakers. I'll put that video up shortly and compare how loud it is against some others. I'm going to do a little sound test. I've only done a couple of tracks that I've been using quite constantly. I'm going to use them tracks. I'm going to give you a demo of what it sounds through the speakers. And also going to compare how this amp sounds compared with a solid state one. I'm going to do them tracks and try and cut in so you can compare one to the other as it goes along. So quite a few things to do. I want to do some modifications. Now this Skunkie Design Electronics does a couple of modifications here to make it sound a bit better and also to run a little bit better. Going to be quite a long video if I keep on talking, but apparently this is the US model I'm quoting now. It comes with a transformer there that's 110 volts because these are made in China, but in America it's 120, so this is running 10 volts high. Now this doesn't matter so much, and solid state amplifiers usually have rectifiers and voltage regulators, sorry not rectifiers, voltage regulators in there. So if you put, say for instance in the UK 240 instead of 220 volts in, the actual power going to the circuit boards gets regulated and stays, say, at 24 volts, no matter if it's 220 or 240 volts going in. So that's how it does on solid state transistor amplifiers. On here it's different. So that 110 in China compared to 120 in America actually puts too much voltage, just a little bit extra, that percentage wise, on the heaters on these tubes and other parts in there as well. So this Skunkie Design Electronics shows you ways around that. Also, just a few little alterations here where one of the capacitors is a bit too high. We're going to change that. A couple of resistors we're going to change and put into the circuit. We're going to have a little bit of a muck around. Skunkie Design Electronics also recommends, well not recommends, this is a little bit of tube rolling, meaning we can take one tube out and put a different tube in from a different manufacturer. And we can do things like that just to experiment and change the sound, change a few capacitors, etc. So that's what I will be doing over a period of time. I've ordered a few bits already. It's when I get time because I still want to put other videos up as well. But we're going to take some tests as it is now. Going to do some voltages maybe here and there. And also going to do, like say, some sound tests so we can compare one to the other. Do I think it's got better? Do I think it's got worse? That kind of thing. And hopefully you'll join me along that journey. Now, going back to the power supply bit, I don't want to make this video too long, but there is a couple of ways of doing that power supply, but they involve you spending more money and a fair bit more money, really, considering. So if you're buying one of these amps off of eBay, etc., just bear that in mind that I'm not saying they're going to suddenly like conk out, they're not going to last that long, but if you're putting a little bit too much voltage in there, it may contribute to that, the tube's not lasting so long, or over a long period, especially if you've got the amp on a long time, it may be damaging some of the other parts. So just bear that in mind a little bit. We'll come to that in other videos, hopefully. I'm going to leave a link to Skunkie Design Electronics. On there, you'll see where the upgrades are done to the unit. But I will be doing it myself. I'll be taking my own pictures and doing the upgrades, but I'll be following that particular YouTuber and what they're doing. I'll be doing exactly the same. So it's no different from me because I'll be kind of following them. I take it that they know more about it than me. It seems that way, but I can't vouch for that 100%. Because I don't know that particular YouTuber, but it looks that way to me anyway. So anyway, just like I say, hopefully you've seen a few pictures. Got two little VU meters here. These work quite nicely. I haven't really listened to it properly yet. Like I say, I'll bring my own opinion to it at some stage. But here it is at the moment. It's all lit up. You probably can't see it because I've got quite a few lights on it at the moment. But it's all lit up. All the valves lit up, etc. It's all working fine, just apart from that little bit of a mark I got there. And we're going to do, like I say, quite a few little tests, a few experiments that I'll bring them videos up from time to time. So that's it. This is me buying my very first Valve amplifier. Hopefully it's given you a little bit of insight maybe to what to expect when you get it in the package, things rolling about, maybe something like that. And bear in mind, you know, you may or may not have to spend a little bit more money in maybe getting this tuned up a little bit more than you actually buy it in when it comes in first of all. So that's it. I'll say thanks for watching, and I'll speak to you all soon.